Khamzat Chimaev said that you are the scariest guy in MMA.
That's a huge compliment coming from Khamzat. I'm a big fan of Khamzat. I don't think he has any reason to toot my horn or to even be humble. He doesn't have to be. I mean, heavyweights fear him, and the fact that he has so much respect for me really means a lot. It shows me a lot about his character, his humility to be able to compliment someone in such a huge way. So I'm very grateful and honored.
Will you watch his fight against DDP?
Absolutely. I absolutely watch this fight. I'm not rooting for anyone. I'm just a big fan of martial arts. I want to see them both go on and have long, prosperous MMA careers. I will watch the fight for sure.
But you cannot say who is the favorite, right?
No, I don't really have a favorite. You know, I just enjoy the sport. You know, may the best man win. I hope they both have great careers.
Jon Jones praises Khamzat Chimaev's character after UFC 319 star labels him the scariest MMA fighter. Now, this story has some fascinating layers. Back in 2022, Khamzat Chimaev appeared on the Triple C and Schmo Show, where he had nothing but praise for the former heavyweight champion.
Go. Yeah.
Chimaev said, and I quote, "Jon Jones, of course, nobody is like him. He beats the monsters. I did all my training with Alexander Gustafsson. I know how good he is. And if Jon Jones could stop that guy, it's scary."
Jon Jones, of course. Nobody is like him. He beats the monsters. You know, I did work all my training, did with Alex. I know how good he did. And if Jon Jones could stop that guy, it's scary. And he beat like not easy fighters. It was crazy good fighters, knockout power, and on the ground it was good. Everything was like perfect, the guy. And DC, you know how he pressure and good wrestling, and he has good boxing, and he has mentality. It's like just pressure the fighters and kill them, you know. And he stopped that guy as well. If he stay in the game, he has to beat pound #1.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Khamzat Chimaev also said Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. Chimaev went on to say, if he stays in the game, he has to be the pound-for-pound #1. Jones recently responded to these comments during an interview with Red Corner MMA, and his response shows the mutual respect between these elite fighters.
A lot of people think that Usman today is the pound-for-pound best. Do you think he's the very best?
I don't think so, because when still Jon Jones here, nobody can be pound for pound. I don't think so. Who make that pound for pound shit, you know? And nobody did. Well, Jon Jones did. He's one of the best guys in this game. Nobody like him.
Jones said, "That's a huge compliment coming from Khamzat. I'm a big fan of Khamzat. I don't think he has any reason to toot my horn or even be humble. He doesn't have to be. I mean, heavyweights fear him, and the fact that he has so much respect for me means a lot. It says a lot about his character, his humility." This is particularly noteworthy because Chimaev has previously stated he believes he could beat Jones in a potential fight, yet both fighters maintain this professional respect for each other's accomplishments.
Khamzat Chimaev said that you are the scariest guy in MMA.
That's a huge compliment coming from Khamzat. I'm a big fan of Khamzat. I don't think he has any reason to toot my horn or to even be humble. He doesn't have to be. I mean, heavyweights fear him, and the fact that he has so much respect for me really means a lot. It shows me a lot about his character, his humility to be able to compliment someone in such a huge way. So I'm very grateful and honored.
Will you watch his fight against DDP?
Absolutely. I absolutely watch this fight. I'm not rooting for anyone. I'm just a big fan of martial arts. I want to see them both go on and have long, prosperous MMA careers. I will watch the fight for sure.
But you cannot say who is the favorite, right?
No, I don't really have a favorite. You know, I just enjoy the sport. You know, may the best man win. I hope they both have great careers.
Speaking of Khamzat Chimaev, he's got a massive opportunity this weekend at UFC 319 in Chicago. Chimaev will face UFC middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis in what many consider to be a changing of the guard moment. Chimaev enters this fight completely unbeaten in his MMA career, with recent victories over some of the sport's biggest names, Robert Whittaker, Gilbert Burns, and Kamaru Usman. The betting odds heavily favor Chimaev to capture his first UFC championship. This title shot represents the culmination of one of the most meteoric rises in UFC history. When Jones mentioned that heavyweights fear him, he wasn't exaggerating. Chimaev's combination of wrestling dominance and finishing ability has made him one of the most avoided.
Are you a good guy trying to be bad, or are you a bad guy trying to be good?
That's a good question. I think I am a bad guy that's trying to be good.
Who's your top MMA fighters of all time?
Nobody is like him. Nobody. He beats a lot of guys, you know, like, he beats the monster. You know, I did work all my training, and we did with Alex. I know how good he is. And if Jon Jones could stop that guy, it's scary.
Fighters in multiple weight classes. Now, let's talk about one of the strangest retirement stories in recent memory. Jon Jones shocked the MMA world in June when Dana White announced his retirement. But here's the kicker. It lasted exactly 2 weeks. Jon Jones is officially back in the UFC anti-doping program following his return from a 2-week retirement. What changed Jones's mind? The announcement that President Donald Trump wants to host a UFC event at the White House in 2026 as part of the America 250 celebration.
You retired, but now it seems like you're getting back into it.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
just explain it, break it down for us a little bit?
I was retired. I felt like I was at a place where I've done it all in the MMA space, and felt like there wasn't too many more challenges for me, and I just wanted to do something more than championships and money. And Donald Trump mentioned that he wanted to have a fight at the White House Garden, you know, and that just seems like such a huge opportunity. Just to be able to entertain the country and the world at this level at the White House, it just means the world to me. So I'm back.
Jones has officially re-entered the UFC's anti-doping program and has already submitted his third drug test of 2025. Typically, fighters coming out of retirement need 6 months of testing before competing again, but the UFC could waive this requirement given how brief Jones's retirement was. But here's where things get interesting with Dana White. While Jones and Conor McGregor both threw their names into the conversation to headline the White House card, White quickly dismissed having Jones headline the event due to what he called Jones's questionable past outside of the cage.
Jon Jones, the greatest fighter of all time, potentially, possibly. The guy that retired recently, about 2 weeks ago, because he didn't want to fight Tom Aspinall, because he'd been there, done it. He's living his best life. He's got nothing more to prove. He walked away from the sport, essentially undefeated. He has been retired for 2 weeks, maybe less than that. That gets a bit blurry depending on what the timeline is. But according to Twitter, apparently, according to Twitter, his Twitter, not general hearsay, Jon Jones has unretired. That is correct. He says that he is now back in the testing pool. Check this out. So, of course,
despite this apparent snub, Jones remains confident about his return. He stated, "I can't promise anyone anything, but I have a very strong feeling that I'll be on that card. I think it's going to be historic. It will be as big as the Thrilla in Manila or the Rumble in the Jungle." This brings us to perhaps the most controversial storyline in the heavyweight division, the Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall saga that never materialized. Jon Jones, branded Dana White's scapegoat as UFC's biggest division takes major hit for over a year. Fans desperately wanted to see Jones fight Tom Aspinall, but it never happened. Instead, Jones fought 40-plus-year-old Stipe Miocic at UFC 309, which many felt was the wrong choice for the division. Now, middleweight star Michael Venom Page is defending Jones, claiming that Dana White and the UFC, not Jones, are to blame for this fight never happening. Page told Fred Talks Fighting, "I feel like if that's the fight that he was going for, Tom Aspinall deserved that fight, and it was the UFC that backed the fight against Stipe." Page makes a compelling argument. If they decided that they didn't want that fight to happen, that fight wouldn't have happened. So, we can't put sole blame on Jon Jones.
You went to Jon Jones' house and you put the hands on him?
Now, not to sound arrogant, there's going to be things that I do that's unusual to it, right? I've been doing it for a long time. But technically, there's things that I'm going to do that he hadn't seen. So, yeah, I would test those things and I would like to pass those on. And so, yeah, of course, the first time, and I think with anybody, it's going to catch him by surprise. So there were things that he felt overwhelmed with. Jon said some stuff. He says he was going to post stuff on the internet. He didn't post it. You know, he said a few things on social media about that. He said something in the line that he was humbled and he got his ass whipped. That's what he said. What would Jon do if somebody knew how to move to his right? I don't think he has the footwork to deal with somebody cutting an angle to his right. And I think it was something that he learned moving around.
Man, I need to rematch Jon Jones at heavyweight. Have him train.
There's no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire Jon Jones without even fighting him.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
Tom Aspinall boldly predicted, "I'm going to retire Jon Jones without even fighting him." Everyone laughed. Everyone thought he was delusional. Well, guess what? Jon Jones just called Dana White and officially retired, walking away from the biggest payday and biggest fight of his career.
Jones, I don't understand why he didn't fight him. And if Jones is like, dude, I was not going to fight Tom Aspinall. He's young. He's better. You know, I don't want to say he's better. He's young. He's athletic. He's dangerous. I don't want to risk my legacy. Perfect. That's all I need to hear.
But it gets even more explosive. UFC legend Demetrius Johnson just sent a brutal message to Jon Jones saying, "Jones, I don't understand why he didn't fight him. And if Jones was like, dude, I was not going to fight Tom Aspinall. He's young, he's athletic, he's dangerous. I don't want to risk my legacy." Perfect. Translation? One of the greatest fighters of all time just basically called Jon Jones scared?
Important than power.
True.
And finally, Jon Jones is scared to fight me.
True. We'll say true.
This story has everything: retirement drama, legacy questions, and the most disappointing ending to a super fight that never happened. Let's break it all down. You're a UFC fan waiting for what could be the biggest heavyweight unification fight in years? Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. 2 champions, 1 undisputed title. Then, out of nowhere, in Baku, Azerbaijan, of all places, Dana White drops this bombshell. Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired.
Heavyweight division, take the title away from him.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
Just like that, no press conference, no farewell speech, no final bow. The greatest mixed martial artist of all time, according to many, just walked away. But here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't just any retirement. Jones was the reigning heavyweight champion, holding the belt hostage for nearly 600 days, while Tom Aspinall sat as interim champion, waiting for his shot at unification. Instead of facing the young, dangerous Brit, Jones chose to fight 42-year-old Stipe Miocic at UFC 309, a fight many called a layup, won by TKO, and then disappeared into retirement. The MMA world is asking one question: did the greatest fighter of all time just duck his biggest challenge?
He changes nothing if I beat him. Beating Tom is just like beating Cyril Gain. Has a whole country behind him. He's hot right now. What happens to me after I beat him? Nothing changes for me. I'm not ducking Tom Aspinall. The Tom narrative came out of nowhere. He won a belt and now suddenly I'm ducking him. I've never had negotiations to even fight him, if this makes sense.
Now, if you expected Tom Aspinall to go nuclear on social media or throw a tantrum, you'd be wrong. The British heavyweight took the high road in a recent podcast appearance, sending what might be the classiest farewell message in MMA history. I think he's had an amazing career, and I think he should enjoy the rest of his life. If he truly feels like he's done enough, which he keeps saying that he does, he will be at peace. He doesn't need me or anyone else to tell him how good he's done. I hope that he's enjoying his life, he's enjoying his family, and that he's celebrating his career, because it's been amazing.
I think he's had an amazing career, and I think he should enjoy the rest of his life. I think if he truly feels like he's done enough, which he keeps saying that he does, he will be at peace. He doesn't need me or anybody else to tell him how good he's done. He'll know it himself. So I hope that he's enjoying his life, he's enjoying his family, and he's celebrating his career because it's been amazing.
But don't mistake class for complacency. Aspinall isn't sitting around feeling sorry for himself. He's got big plans. I'm going to be fighting hopefully twice this year. I think I've wasted enough time. The man who predicted he'd retire Jones without fighting him is now the undisputed heavyweight champion, and he's ready to prove he deserves it.
Did you have any idea what you're doing next and when you'll be back in the octagon?
I do, but I also want to keep my job. So there's not much I can say on it, to be honest. But
Will you be fighting this year?
I'm going to be fighting hopefully twice this year. That's my plan.
Oh, wow.
At least I think I've wasted enough time. We're looking for a quick. We're looking to get a fight booked quick, and it's looking like it's going to be pretty soon anyway. And then hopefully, if everything goes well in the first one, I'm uninjured, which is, it's easier said than done, getting through a fight.
Not everyone is being as diplomatic as Aspinall. Former UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Johnson, himself considered one of the GOATs, absolutely destroyed Jon Jones with his analysis. First, Johnson called out Jones' negotiation tactics. I think he was totally down to fight Tom Aspinall, and I think Jon Jones asked for $30 million 0 cents, thinking the UFC was not going to give that to him.
I think Jon Jones, after he beat Stipe Miocic, I think he was totally down to fight Tom Aspinall. And I think Jon Jones asked for $30 million, thinking the UFC was not going to give that to him. Then once again, when did he fight?
But then Johnson delivered the most brutal, honest assessment of the entire situation. Jones, I don't understand why he didn't fight him. And if Jones was like, dude, I was not going to fight Tom Aspinall. He's young, he's athletic, he's dangerous. I don't want to risk my legacy. Perfect. But wait, there's more, Johnson continued. He doesn't have to fight Tom Aspinall. Even the fact that he said he was going to do it and had a change of heart, that's fine. People have a change of heart. People get cold feet. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's all I need to hear. He doesn't have to fight Tom Aspinall. But I think the fact that he said he was going to do it and then he had a change of heart, which is fine. People have change of heart. People get cold feet. There's nothing wrong with that.
Translation, Johnson is basically saying if you were scared, just say you were scared, but don't string everyone along. Here's what's really damaging Jones's reputation. This isn't the first time we've seen this pattern. Remember Dominic Reyes? Back in 2020, Reyes gave Jones one of the toughest fights of his career at UFC 247. Many people, including Dana White, thought Reyes actually won that fight. Jones got a controversial unanimous decision victory.
He just looked really good. I was happy to see Corey Anderson eat his words. He's been talking so much trash, and then to go out there and perform the way he did, yeah.
You seem pretty pumped standing here. I saw you getting on some chairs, yelling a little bit. I mean, does watching that excite you?
Yeah, absolutely. I love this city. It's a great city of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I came for the fans, really. I tried to do a little meet and greet in between every fight, which I was able to accomplish. And I think the fans are really happy. So hurrah for them.
Given what he did here tonight, his performance against Luke Rockhold, do you feel like Jon is a worthy opponent?
Oh, yeah. Jon has great knockout power, very technical. His fundamentals are very sharp, and yeah, I think he's going to make a great opponent.
Do you think he'll be your next opponent is the obvious question.
I could totally see the UFC matching us up with each other. I mean, what better way to make a claim for the title than to get a knockout like that? So I got a feeling the UFC is going to be giving me a call real soon.
What happened next? Jones never fought Reyes again. Instead, he moved up to heavyweight, avoiding the immediate rematch that everyone wanted to see. Sound familiar? The comments from fans back then are eerily similar to what we're seeing now. Here are actual fan comments from that time. Fucking Reyes. This guy is begging not fight Reyes again. What a coward. What a similar era to the one we're in now. Referring to the Jones-Aspinall saga. Fast forward to 2024, and we're seeing the exact same playbook with Aspinall. The parallels are impossible to ignore. One analyst perfectly captured this pattern, noting that Jones has faced ducking accusations multiple times throughout his career, and each time he's found a way to avoid the most dangerous immediate challenges. It's becoming a troubling pattern for someone who built his reputation on being willing to fight anyone, anywhere. So here's the million-dollar question. Does this retirement hurt Jon Jones' legacy?
Right, everyone, the news has broken. I'm sure everybody's seen it. UFC undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Moving forward, very, very important to me, just that I acknowledge everybody quickly who has supported me in this. I'm not going to say it was a tough time, but a bit of a challenging time over like the last kind of 10, 11 months that I have been inactive due to no fault of my own. But luckily, that is all behind us now. Massively appreciate the support from everybody. Massively appreciate the support going forward. I am going to keep this thing as active as possible. I want to be the best heavyweight ever to walk the face of the earth. I'm going to defend this thing as many times as I possibly can. I'm going to keep you guys entertained. I'm going to really give back to everybody who has shown me support over the last year, over the last 5 years, over the last 10 years. Really appreciate the support and love from everybody. And we're going to see an active
defending UFC heavyweight undisputed champion going forward. Thank you guys, and I'll speak to you soon.
With Jones officially retired, Tom Aspinall is now the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion, and he's not wasting any time. Aspinall has already outlined his plans for a busy 2025, wanting to fight twice this year. The heavyweight division, which has been in limbo, waiting for this Jones situation to resolve, can finally move forward. Potential opponents for Aspinall include Curtis Blades, who's been on a tear, Cyril Gane looking for redemption, or even a returning Francis Ngannou if he decides to come back to the UFC. So there you have it, fight fans. Jon Jones, arguably the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, has retired as heavyweight champion, walking away from what could have been the biggest fight of his career. What do you think? Did Jones make the smart business decision, or will this decision haunt his legacy forever? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the breakdown, subscribe for more UFC news and analysis, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest content.
Retire at MSG, and this would have never been a problem.
I think he'll come back.
You think he'll come back?
I think he'll come back. It's the drama of it. Even right now, who was telling me? Ash was telling me about the tweets.
Oh yeah.
So I had to look at it. I was just like, he's coming back. This is all just, what do they call it now? The kids call it rage baiting.
Yeah,
it's working. Yeah. It's working. And again, I don't agree with the fact holding up the division. I'm like,
Israel Adesanya drops massive bombshell on Tom Aspinall and warns him Jon Jones is not retired. Former UFC champion Israel Adesanya has just delivered a shocking revelation that's sending shockwaves through the MMA community. In a bombshell statement, the last stylebender directly warned new undisputed heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall that Jon Jones is far from finished, despite his recent retirement announcement. Adesanya's explosive theory suggests that Bones Jones is orchestrating an elaborate rage-baiting campaign to manufacture the biggest payday in heavyweight history, a potential $30 million super fight that could break all UFC records.
Or Aspinall?
Aspinall.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Aspinall. I think they're trying to come to some sort of an agreement. The rumor is that he wants $30 million, and that the UFC is going to pay it. Hopefully, I hope they pay it.
I agree with him. Though. Him and Pereira would be the Pereira. Yeah. Sorry, would be the fight everyone wants to see. Yeah,
perhaps
because he's been so dominant. That kid.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, if it's going to happen, they're both 37. It should probably happen soon. But Jon is, the heavyweight champion of the world, and Pereira has challengers in the light heavyweight division.
Is Jones truly done, or is this all an elaborate setup for the fight we've been waiting for? Let's dive into the drama that has the entire MMA world talking.
The fight was done. We had the fight done a long time ago. So why he decided not to fight, you guys will have to ask him that.
Do you think he's ducking Tom Aspinall?
No. He's never ducked anybody other than that one goofy time with the Chael Sonnen thing. Whatever changed his mind with this fight, I don't know. You'd have to ask him that, but I don't know. I don't know the answer to these questions. Only he does.
Did you know about the stuff that came out of Albuquerque last night?
I saw it today. When I saw it today, I said, oh, everybody's going to think this is why he retired. Maybe that is why he retired. Who the hell knows, man? But you never know what Jon Jones is dealing with. And then you wake up the next day. And so who knows? I mean, I don't know everything that went into this decision. Going to have to ask him if you ever see him again. You saw me talking about it very confidently that this fight was going to happen. And then he changed his mind. So I'm looking forward to the Tom Aspinall era.
Last Saturday night, UFC President Dana White dropped a bombshell at the UFC 316 post-fight press conference in Baku, Azerbaijan. In what seemed like a casual response to a reporter's question, White announced that Jon Jones, widely considered the greatest fighter of all time, had retired from MMA. The announcement was unceremonious, almost anticlimactic for a career that spans nearly 2 decades. Jones quickly took to social media to make it official with an emotional statement. Today, I'm officially announcing my retirement from the UFC. From the first time I stepped into the octagon, my goal was to push the boundaries of what was possible in this sport.
Let's be honest, and since I won that fight, he's gone completely quiet, and he'll continue to go completely quiet about me until he retires, because there's no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire Jon Jones without even fighting him.
But here's where it gets interesting. This retirement meant Tom Aspinall, who had been holding the interim heavyweight title for a record-breaking duration, was immediately promoted to undisputed champion. Aspinall had been waiting over a year for his shot at Jones, becoming the longest reigning interim champion in UFC history, while Jones avoided the fight. The timing raised eyebrows. Jones had just defeated 42-year-old Stipe Miocic in November 2024, and according to Dana White, had even initially accepted a bout against Aspinall before changing his mind and choosing retirement instead.
Is Jon Jones retired? Is he fighting again?
I don't want to say that I'm retired because fighting's in my blood. Right now, I could really care less about fighting. I've been doing it my whole life at a very high level. When the itch comes back, and if it comes back, then I'll do it with my whole heart. I'll do it to the best of my abilities.
But wait, is Jon Jones really retired? Less than a week after his emotional farewell, Jones has been actively engaging with fans on social media, and his messages are raising serious questions. When one fan tweeted, "Jon Jones will be back," Jones replied with a tantalizing, "Wouldn't that be something?" Even more telling, when a fan wished him a happy retirement, Jones responded, "I appreciate it, but I'm really not retired. I'll be all over the country and all over the world, meeting people who love the sport the most." This behavior has caught the attention of fight analysts and fellow fighters. Israel Adesanya, speaking on the Ariel Helwani show, believes there's method to this madness. What do the kids call it? Rage baiting? It's working. Someone was telling me about the tweets. I had a look and I was like, he's coming back.
It's the drama of it. Even right now, who was telling me? Ash was telling me about the tweets.
Oh yeah.
So I had a look and I was just like, he's coming back. This is all just, what do they call it now? The kids call it rage baiting.
Yeah,
it's working.
Yeah.
It's working. And again, I don't agree with the fact holding up the division. I'm like, Tom defended the belt. That's a defense on his book. Let the division keep moving and now moves forward. But then now this whole thing comes out because it happened in February or whatever.
Yeah,
and you're
crazy,
like,
right?
fucking, that's why he retired. But I think he'll go through this and then again, he'll come back.
You think Tom fights a couple times and then he comes back and fights him to make it mega fight? Or do you think he never fights Tom?
Yeah, I think he'll fight Tom. I think it's just that much. It's too much money. They offered him, 20, 30 million, I heard. Yeah, I think he'll come back. It'll even be bigger by the time he comes back because Tom would have had like 2 fights or 3 fights and then like built up his own legacy as well. So when he comes back, it'd be like,
is Jones playing mind games with the MMA community, or is he genuinely exploring post-fighting opportunities? The evidence suggests the former. Israel Adesanya isn't just speculating, he's convinced that Jones will return, and money is the driving factor. According to Adesanya, the UFC has already put a massive offer on the table. Here's too much money. They offered him $20, 0 cents, $30 million, 0 cents. Yeah, I think he'll come back.
fucking, that's why he retired. But I think he'll go through this and then again, he'll come back.
You think Tom fights a couple times and then he comes back and fights him to make it mega fight? Or do you think he never fights Tom?
Yeah, I think he'll fight Tom. I think it's just that much. It's too much money. They offered him, 20, 30 million, I heard. Yeah, I think he'll come back. It'll even be bigger by the time he comes back because Tom would have had like 2 fights or 3 fights and then like built up his own legacy as well. So when he comes back, it'd be like,
Adesanya's theory makes financial sense. A Jones versus Aspinall fight would potentially be the biggest heavyweight bout in UFC history. Dana White himself had previously stated this fight would break records, and with Aspinall's rising star power, the numbers only get bigger. But Adesanya sees an even more strategic element to Jones's timing. It'll be even bigger by the time he comes back, because Tom will have had 2 or 3 fights and built up his own legacy as well.
Million, I heard. Yeah, I think he'll come back. It'll even be bigger by the time he comes back because Tom would have had like 2 fights or 3 fights and then like built up his own legacy as well. So when he comes back, it'd be like,
the former middleweight champion believes Jones is calculating his return perfectly. By stepping away now, Jones allows Aspinall to build his own brand as undisputed champion, potentially making their eventual showdown even more lucrative. Adesanya also criticized Jones for holding up the division, saying, "I don't agree with the fact of holding up the division. Tom defended the belt. That's a defense on his book. Let the division keep moving."
I don't agree with the fact holding up the division. I'm like, Tom defended the belt. That's a defense on his book. Let the division keep moving and now moves forward. But then now this whole thing comes out because it happened in February or whatever.
Yeah,
and you're
crazy,
like,
right?
So how is Tom Aspinall handling all this drama?
the new undisputed heavyweight champion is surprisingly philosophical about the situation. Speaking on the Diary of a CEO podcast, Aspinall admitted he's not counting out a future Jones fight. I'm sure with where he's at, he can jump the queue anytime he wants. Anytime someone like him wants to step up and say, listen, I want to fight again, they're going to get an immediate title shot.
I'm sure with where he's at, he can like jump the queue anytime he wants. So, this time of year down the line, we'll have another 3 or 4 contenders knocking on for a title shot, I'm sure. But anytime someone like him wants to step up and say, listen, I want to fight again, they're going to get an immediate title shot. So I'm never going to count that out. And I'm sure that maybe he's, I'm in a spot in my career where there's not all that much footage out there on me.
Aspinall even acknowledged that Jones might be studying his future fights for weaknesses. Maybe he sees something in me in the next few fights and he thinks, you know what, I can beat this guy, I'm going to come back and beat him. Rather than dwelling on the Jones situation, Aspinall is focused on staying active. He plans to fight twice in 2025, making up for lost time after spending over a year waiting for a unification bout that never materialized. His potential opponents include Cyril Gane, the only active heavyweight who has faced Jones, as well as Jilton Almeida and Alexander Volkov. Aspinall has specifically called out Gane, saying the Frenchman was ducking and diving around their potential fight and is due a little bit of a beating. UFC commentator Joe Rogan has weighed in on the situation, believing Jones made a critical miscalculation. On his podcast with Corey Sandhagen, Rogan argued that Jones seriously underestimated Aspinall's star power. I think he's wrong because I think Aspinall is a star. I really do. When people ask me questions all the time, like casuals on the streets, is Jon Jones going to fight Tom Aspinall? That's like the constant question.
Beast, man.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of questions, never been out of the first round, a lot of questions, but never been out of the first round because he fucks everybody up in the first round. Like, that's a factor.
Yeah.
The evidence supports this view. A petition calling for Jones to be stripped of his title gained nearly 200,000 signatures, showing the level of fan frustration with his avoidance of Aspinall. The division also has other intriguing storylines brewing. There are rumors about Francis Ngannou potentially returning to the UFC after his boxing ventures, which could create another massive super fight opportunity.
Yeah. And to go back to the thing on Jon Jones, did you see the petition online from the fans?
Yeah.
What did you just make of that?
Every human on earth was DMing it to me, and yeah, I saw it.
I mean, I know you say you always listen to the fans and give the fans what they want. I'm just curious what you make of that.
How many fans are there worldwide now? Like, what's the number? It's like 400 million or something like that. Yeah, 130,000 people want to see him stripped.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not enough.
I'm not saying that. It's kind of fucking silly.
For now, though, all eyes remain on whether Jones will actually stay retired or if this is all an elaborate negotiation tactic for the biggest payday in heavyweight history. So there you have it, the Jon Jones retirement saga that has divided the MMA world. Is Bones really done? Or is this all part of a master plan to secure a $30 million 0-cents payday against Tom Aspinall? The evidence suggests Adesanya might be right. Jones' social media behavior, the massive money on the table, and the perfect timing of building Aspinall's star power all point to an eventual return. One thing is certain, whether Jones comes back or not, Tom Aspinall is ready to prove he's the undisputed king of the heavyweight division. And if Jones does decide to jump the queue, as Aspinall put it, we might just witness the biggest heavyweight fight in UFC history. What do you think? Is Jones really retired? Or is this all rage baiting for the ultimate payday? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more breaking MMA news and analysis.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
Since I've been a young boy, since I first started training, me and my dad have had this dream that I'm going to be the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion of the world.
He was really sporty, and there was going to be some martial art that I was going to be good at, and I packed my job in to teach him more jiu-jitsu because I wanted him to teach jiu-jitsu with me, even as a young lad. He just used to beat people very easily.
Got to believe in what you do, haven't you? I always told him he could do it. So he's always had that encouragement from me to go after something, if you really want it.
Somebody's got to be a world champion at doing it. Why not? Why not Tom?
Tom Aspinall drops massive bombshell after Jon Jones' retirement.
the new heavyweight champion has sent a clear warning message that's got the entire MMA world buzzing. Jon Jones has officially announced his retirement from the UFC, and new heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall wasted no time in making his intentions crystal clear. His message was direct and pointed. For you fans, it's time to get this heavyweight division going. An active, undisputed champion.
You said the timeline for Jones, 2 weeks to decide what to do with the title, or whether it takes the fight or you're going to strip him. What do you think is more important, to keep the belt there so he can uphold his legacy, or we move the heavyweight division, take the title away from him?
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.